Hello everyone, and welcome back to the second installment of Healthy Bharat. Today, we are making garlic chili chutney, or in Marathi that would be Thecha in my opinion. First thing first, you need your chilies. Once you get your chilies, you're basically set. And the chilies is the real thing you want to have be higher quality. If you can grow them yourself in your garden, it's even better, you know. But in general, high quality chilies. Second thing that's most important is garlic. You also want this to be more on the higher quality garlic. And the one thing is, if you use garlic that's not completely dried, the most important thing to remember is it's going to be very sticky. And it's extremely difficult to separate from the skin. After the garlic, the third most important thing in my opinion is cumin. I find the cumin kind of works to bring kind of the watery meatiness of the chili to mix well with that garlicky spice. That's kind of what the cumin does in my opinion. And we'll go more into that in the explained video. And then lastly, salt. Things without salt taste bad. I add salt to things to make it taste good. Pretty much. Those are our main ingredients. And the two main things I want to show you in this Thecha video is how I use and the techniques involved with the pata borwanta. So when you're first mixing things, and look, all the garlic's already peeled off and smashed up basically. I have everything kind of ready. Once you have everything ready, you also want to cover your feet when you do this. So you can do this on a tabletop, but that would not be traditional. You are supposed to do this on the ground. While on the ground, you want to hook it with your right leg or dominant leg. You know how behind your ankle there's a little divot between the heel and where the leg starts? That's where the tip of the triangle tip of that pata borwanta is being hooked against. Secondly, you want the left foot to be kind of hugging in an L shape the right-hand side of the pata borwanta. If you hug it like that, and then you're hooking it with the other foot on the other side of that triangle, the whole thing is not going to ever move. I found when I do it on a tabletop, unless I find a way to set the pata borwanta into the table, it's always going to slide around, and that's not what you want. So I prefer doing it this way because it's just easier to hold it down when you're working on it. Let's get back to the annoying part, which is separating garlic meat from garlic skin. This is sped up. I think it took me 10 minutes total to do this. But what can you say? This is just what you have to do. When the garlic is, as I mentioned before, when the garlic is fresh, it is incredibly difficult to separate the skin from the meat. Just incredibly difficult. So if you are going to do this and you want to cut corners, I would buy pre-peeled garlic. There may be quality issues with such garlic, but if you don't want to go through what I went through, and if you think what I went through is painful, getting pre-peeled garlic is okay. But, honestly, the flavor of fresh garlic in Thecha is insurmountably better than any garlic you get at the store, or pre-peeled garlic cloves you can get at the store in bins. But that's just my humble garlic opinion. The second thing that's really important, I think, is before you go to town mixing it all up, you want to hold the pestle part of the pata borwanta in a vertical position where you're only holding it with like a couple of fingers on the top, and you're just gently pulling it up and using gravity to push down. The reason you don't really want to push down too hard is usually when you push down with force, the chilies will splatter everywhere. But if you just kind of pull it up using your strength and let gravity do the work down, usually it just mashes it gently and separates the big chunks into smaller pieces. This is really important because you can't actually do the horizontal grinding motion if the pieces are really big. They'll just kind of slide around because you're grinding. So if it's not going to fit in that plane, it's just going to slide around. And for the technique for that grinding motions, you really need to use your thumbs and only your thumbs to anchor the bottom of the pestle. And you need to use your wrists and your whole arms. Use your arms to push the pestle back and forth, but you're using your wrists to turn the pestle as your arms are pushing it back and forth. And I hope you can really clearly see this motion all at once in this video. Because once you combine these two motions together, that's when you get that really pure, wonderful, good grind in the final product. And you get that smoothness mixed with some of the bigger particles. So when you eat this, you're supposed to feel that chunk. You want to feel, oh my goodness, I just bit into a chili, right? But as you bite into the chili, all the other flavors fill your mouth. Because as you bite into a piece that's probably only 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter big, there's all those garlic juices mixed in with the chili juices, mixed with the cumin, mixed with the salt, all around surrounding this big quote unquote chunk of garlic that's 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter. So you get that bite, and then after that single bite, you get all the flavor. And that's why this type of thecha, or green chili garlic chutney, works beautifully. And making it with a pata verwenta is the way to get that beautiful final product. And one thing to note about pata verwentas is these are almost always made out of volcanic rock because of their porous nature. Now, we're not grinding the rock into the meal, but you want it to be porous because as you're grinding the two things together, there's these little holes all throughout the porous material because it's a volcanic rock. In these little holes, your food will get stuck. And as the food gets stuck in these holes, you're getting the most flavorful parts of your thing you're grinding together stuck in these holes. And as you grind more and more of the material onto these holes that are filled with this garlicky, chili, cumin, salt flavor, those same substances that got seeped into the pata verwenta will be pushed out with your horizontal grinding motions. So once you've finished all of the horizontal grinding, all of the vertical grinding, you will be left with a paste. There'll be some chunks in the paste, and there should be chunks in the paste. But the reason I call it a paste is because it's held together with a more amorphous liquid blend. And I guess the last thing I really want to mention is when you're using these stone tools, pata barwanta, mortar pestle, whatever, when you're using stone tools, there will be loss into the stone. I may have not pointed it out when I started the video, but before I do anything on a stone tool, I first treat the stone surface with the chemicals and the oils that I'm going to be introducing into the stone. So for example, if I'm going to be making Thecha and using stone tools, I will always put garlic on the stone before I start mashing anything together. And garlic on the stone means you're just rubbing garlic into every crack and crevice. This helps for a multitude of reasons. Maybe some of the reasons you can infer, so I won't explain every single one. But what this does do is, in the end of the day, when you're done using your stone tools that are made out of porous volcanic rock, it's actually going to be kind of difficult to get the things out of whatever stone tool you're using. Now, if I was my grandmother using this tool, I would just use my fingers and scrape every last piece of Thecha off of the pata barwanta. I wouldn't care if it burned. I wouldn't care where my fingers went afterward. I wouldn't waste a gram, not even a gram, a milligram. Another thing I've seen some people do, I have not done this myself yet, to be honest, but what some people have done is after they're done using the pata barwanta, they will scrape the pata barwanta with garlic again after all the grinding is done. And I think the reason they do this, it was never explained to me, but my thinking is if you are going to use it, you might as well leave the pata barwanta in the same state you want to have it as next time. So by grinding that garlic into all those grooves in the volcanic rock, you're getting a lot more of those chili, garlic, cumin juices out, and you're putting a lot more of those garlic juices in. And I think that is the traditional way of cleaning and maintaining a stone tool. I have yet to do the thing where I continuously keep a layer of oil and food stuff in the pores. I feel like that's unsafe, but also back in the day, I'm pretty sure that's how it was done. They didn't use soap every time they cleaned their stone tools. They kept it treated with the garlic. So that's how you make Thecha. Let me know in the comments what you want to see next. Remember to like and subscribe, and I think I'm gonna sign off for today and think about what to make next for Healthy Bharat.